Coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight division collision. All right, here he is, the decorated kickboxer, back for more here tonight, and he's so comfortable in the striking realm. It's almost like he started kickboxing before he ever was reading or writing.
Oh, it's unbelievable to see someone that's so comfortable under so much duress.
I know.
When you're in kickboxing range, you are in the fire. There is no safety. You're right in range to be getting knocked out, but he does not fear that. He loves it. He loves the combat. He loves the engagements. But what you have to understand is he's not engaging his opponents on their terms. He's doing it on his terms. Whether or not he wants to be in close with the big punches or he wants to be at range landing kicks, he's just constantly putting damage on you. Top, bottom, up, low, it does not matter. This guy is a dominant striker, one of the best kickboxers the UFC has ever seen.
And in terms of the punching technique and the jab, as good as anyone in this division. Well, he will never forget this experience, making the walk to that famed UFC octagon for the first time, but the question beckons. Will there be nerves? Will there be jitters under the bright lights of the UFC octagon for the first time? He doesn't look wide-eyed necessarily here, but you have to be mindful of a possible adrenaline dump that could really affect your cardio if you're not ready for it. And now our tale of the tape for this heavyweight fight. So more than 10 years apart, these two fighters. Some differences in height and reach as well. And now to get us started, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a kickboxer holding a professional record of 14 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 261 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Big Train. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, making his UFC debut here tonight. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, Lesnar! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, third man in the octagon for this one.
Ready.
All right, so here we go, round one. This is... Well, these are some excellent ground and pound strikes here, DC. There's an efficiency with which he operates in these situations.
He knows exactly when to throw, exactly when to hold, and it's allowing him to really control the grappling aspect of the fight.
There's a song. That'll do it! Herb Dean steps in!
Oh, my goodness! What a fight!
Yes, sir, it goes into the books as a first-round win by knockout, near-perfect execution. The technique was absolutely gorgeous, and again, when you catch a guy early, maybe you're getting him cold before he's had a chance to work up a sweat or even get into the fight a little bit, those strikes can have a bigger effect, and it certainly did here tonight. All right, DC, no telestrator tonight, but we're going to get you some highlights from this one. This was a fight that had it all, and for my money, his best performance to date.
His best performance to date in the biggest moment. In the biggest moments, you got to show up, and that's exactly what he did tonight. He used every bit of his skill to get the job done.
Here now, Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean's called a stop to this contest at 40 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Brock Lesnar!
Well, we congratulate him on a huge knockout here tonight. He'll probably keep that smile while he's sleeping tonight after what he was able to produce here.
He's going to be smiling for a really long time. When you get a knockout like that, not only do you get the win, you also, most times, walk away with a $50,000 bonus check.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight showdown. Well, pretty much every time out in the UFC, DC, this man has put on a striking clinic, and that is his methodology coming in here tonight. He'll try to keep the fight on the feet.
And that's why we tune in, right? That's why we tune in. We tune in to see guys that are dynamic. We tune in for the speed. We tune in for the knowledge of the striking game, the ability to set traps, the ability to find the jab, the ability to find the right hand, the right kick, the left kick, the knees, the elbows. He truly uses every weapon that he has in his arsenal to try and finish his opponents. You make one mistake, night's over. You cannot make mistakes against a guy that has the striking acumen of this guy right here.
And the jab is not as underutilized a weapon as it was in MMA, say 5 or 7 years ago, but he's got as good a jab as anyone in the business, and that is where all of his striking flows off of. We'll see how it goes for him in this matchup tonight. Well, it's always tough when you draw that high-level wrestler who has a lifetime of experience in a one-on-one competitive situation. Prevailing wisdom is he'll have the wrestling advantage in this one tonight.
As his dad said, the moment he introduced him to the sport, he knew that he was made to be a wrestler. The kid slept in his headgear. He only wants to wrestle, and by doing that, he puts you in danger. He's constantly in your face, constantly trying to dig at your gas tank. He goes from transition to transition, single to double to high crotch. It does not matter the attack. He just knows that he will give you so much to process in terms of the wrestling that eventually he will get you to the ground.
You ever sleep in your headgear?
I sleep in my headgear.
All the time?
All the time.
All right, big one for him here tonight. Let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a boxer holding a professional record of 14 wins, 10 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 250 pounds. Shotgun! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 1 win, no losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, Brock Lesnar! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Mergliata.
So Dan Mergliata shares the cage.
You ready? You ready?
So after a win by knockout in his UFC debut, here he is making the walk yet again. We'll see if he can move to 2-0 in the UFC, and that could set him up for a potential contender-type fight. This is a guy who is all the rage with fight fans right now, given what he did in the debut, and now you gotta think he'll certainly have even more confidence.
Oh, he got him real good, too.
And just like that, the fight is over.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, we're just getting going, and now the fight's over, but excellent striking technique to land that shot and ultimately finish the fight here in the first. You've heard us say it before, but sometimes when you catch a guy cold before he's had a chance to get going in the fight, it can have a bigger effect. It certainly did here tonight. Well, what a moment for this fighter here tonight. A massive knockout on the sport's biggest stage. Seminal moment for that fighter tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata calls a stop to this contest at 34 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Brock Lesnar!
So the celebration is on with him and his team, and rightfully so. A monumental result tonight as he gets the win by knockout.
He spoke it into existence. He said over and over to anyone that'll listen, I am going to knock this man out. He did it in an even more impressive fashion than he ever could have imagined.
Coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight division collision. Well, always exciting when this guy shows up on the fight card, Daniel. He is a true mixed martial artist. Not really any glaring weaknesses, at least, that he's put on film thus far.
He's the new breed of fighter. Those kids that start doing everything at 6 years old. They start wrestling, they start doing jiu-jitsu, they start to box. He's one of those guys that has every one of those skills, and he does them all at an A+ level. He's got tremendous cardio. He is the type of fighter that in a few years will just litter the UFC roster across the board.
And oftentimes his opponents will say he doesn't really do anything special, but he does everything at A+ level, and he believes he'll have a lot of advantages in this matchup tonight. All right, so we get another look at this high-level wrestler here tonight, DC. When it comes to the grappling, the wrestling, fighting this guy makes for a really hard night at the office.
It makes for a hard night because the moment he gets close to you, it's like a fly stuck in flypaper. He sticks to you like glue. He moves from position to position seamlessly. He possesses great takedowns from the clinch, from a nice inside trip to a bear hug or a throw. He's just one of those guys that the moment he comes into contact with you, a lifetime of wrestling has shown him an amazing ability to get you to the floor.
Yeah, all of that one-on-one competition, as you mentioned, great in transition. Big spot, needless to say, for him here tonight. And now our tail of the tape for this heavyweight fight. More than a decade separates these two fighters when it comes to the age, with similar height, but big differences in reach. The veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 237 pounds. Fighting out of New York, Magic Man. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the right corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 2 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, Brock Lesnar! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Eve Loving.
The veteran Yves Levine draws the assignment here.
You ready? You ready?
All right, ready to go for round 1, and this young man's popularity absolutely soared on the strength of what he did his last time out. It was a win by flush knockout, kept his winning streak intact with style points, and now the challenges get decidedly more tougher. We'll see if he can keep the momentum going in what is unquestionably the biggest spot of his UFC career. Well, you know, I don't like the gi very much, but I have an appreciation, and a healthy one, for these type of transitions.
You can tell he's been in a gi at some point in his life with the way that he moves so freely.
I'm skipping jiu-jitsu next week, too.
Now the guy's got armbar. He's attacking it on him.
You gotta scramble. You gotta scramble.
You gotta be careful, armbar.
Continuing to try to manipulate the head here.
Oh, now he's in trouble.
Oh, and he pins the arm down, and that is it. So the tap comes shortly thereafter.
He got the arm straight, right? The moment he was able to break the lock, John, his opponent was in trouble. Hip pressure up, opponent had to tap.
And he tapped, and he lives to fight another day, but a huge win for his opponent by submission tonight. All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
He does a great job of staying patient. He doesn't rush or panic. You are never safe when you're fighting this guy. You're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble the entire time when you're this good in the submissions.
So there he is, your winner by submission. That could hold up as one of the better subs of the year. Near perfect execution tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Leving has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 57 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to an armbar, Brock Lesnar!
Well, what an incredible result here tonight as you see the winner there celebrating his victory by way of submission, and they put so much stock into finishing this fight. They felt like to really spin his career forward, they needed to not just win, but get the finish, and they certainly got it tonight.
They got the finish. He's such a terrific grappler. Every time he is on his back, he looks for submissions over and over again. Eventually, he found one tonight and got the desired result.
Coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight division collision. All right, so here he is, Suriname's Jairzinho Rozenstruik, the first man or woman from his nation to compete on the greatest proving ground in mixed martial arts. And this guy's done a whole lot more than compete. Since transitioning from kickboxing, he's been undefeated as a mixed martial artist. He was the UFC's Rookie of the Year in 2019. Alistair Overeem's got a story about this man's power, and perhaps tonight's opponent will have one to tell after the festivities tonight. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Biggie Boy, is back for more tonight. All right, so we get another look at this high-level wrestler here tonight, DC. When it comes to the grappling, the wrestling, fighting this guy makes for a really hard night at the office.
It makes for a hard night because the moment he gets close to you, it's like a fly stuck in flypaper. He sticks to you like glue. He moves from position to position seamlessly. He possesses great takedowns from the clinch, from a nice inside trip to a bear hug or a throw. He's just one of those guys that the moment he comes into contact with you, a lifetime of wrestling has shown him an amazing ability to get you to the floor.
Yeah, all of that one-on-one competition, as you mentioned, great in transition. Big spot, needless to say, for him here tonight. Our tale of the tape for this heavyweight fight. 4 years apart, with similar height and some differences in reach. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 12 wins, 5 losses. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 260 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rozenstruik. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 3 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, Brock Lesnar! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Murgliata.
Dan Murgliata.
You ready?
All right, here we go with round 1. No denying the momentum that this young man brings to the table here tonight. He has won his last 3 fights, and if he wins...
What a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish his fight.
Well, there are few things more fun to watch in mixed martial arts than these type of training.
Now the guy's got armbar. He's attacking it on him. An attacking armbar.
Continuing to try to manipulate the head here.
Now he falls back into the finishing position.
And there it is!
Holy smokes!
Yeah, so a quick night at the office for him here tonight. He told us he wanted to be efficient. He didn't want to waste a lot of time. He felt his opponent knew the takedown attempts would be coming, and he got the fight to the ground relatively easily, and his submission skills then took over. Big, big result for him early in round 1 tonight. All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
Just watch how slowly he approaches the submission, though. He never rushes. He takes his time, but it's his trickiness. It's his ability to trick people into going to the floor with him that puts them in danger and finishing fights.
So there he is, your winner by submission. That is a finish they will likely be talking about for some time. Big win, major statement made to the rest of this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Murgliato's called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 27 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by submission due to an armbar, Lesnar!
All right, so there he is, all smiles, and rightfully so after he gets the job done by submission tonight. You told me off the air before the fight that he was going to submit him, and that's exactly what happened, man.
I mean, you know, this guy has such a great submission game that you cannot lay in his guard. And his opponent is known to lay in the guard. He made him pay for it tonight and got the submission victory.
All right, coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight showdown. Well, this young man is a really accomplished submission specialist, and sometimes fighters get offended when you call them a specialist, but most people know what he's trying to do in there, and to this point, no one's really been able to stop him.
John, he will try to pull guard. Who
Yeah.
pulls guard anymore in the UFC at this point? But he understands that for him to be successful, the fight has to be in the grappling, in the jiu-jitsu. If he's able to extend these jiu-jitsu exchanges, he is the guy that is generally going to win. He understands position. He understands going from point A to point B. He always is the one controlling the underhook. Always has the frame. Just a knowledge of jiu-jitsu that not many people can match.
And you can be sure as he makes this walk tonight, he's thinking about just how quickly he can get this fight to the ground and utilize those aforementioned high-level submission skills. Well, it's always tough when you draw that high-level wrestler who has a lifetime of experience in a one-on-one competitive situation. Prevailing wisdom is he'll have the wrestling advantage in this one tonight.
As his dad said, the moment he introduced him to the sport, he knew that he was made to be a wrestler. The kid slept in his headgear. He only wants to wrestle, and by doing that, he puts you in danger. He's constantly in your face, constantly trying to dig at your gas tank. He goes from transition to transition, single to double to high crotch. It does not matter the attack. He just knows that he will give you so much to process in terms of the wrestling that eventually he will get you to the ground.
You ever sleep in your headgear?
I sleep in my headgear.
All the time.
All the time.
All right, big one for him here tonight. Let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 20 wins, 10 losses. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 239 pounds. Pretty Boy! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler, holding a professional record of 4 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, Brock Lesnar! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean draws the assignment here in the heavyweight division.
Right.
Ready to fight?
All right, ready to go for round 1, and to the surprise of some, he won his last fight by submission. So with momentum, he enters this, the highest profile spot of his career, trying to keep that obvious momentum going. Can he realize a UFC title shot by the end of the year? That remains to be seen. But if his last performance was any indication, the ceiling is championship for this young contender. Oh, nice land there with the punch. You see, he's taking advantage of what is an obvious edge in reach. Pretty good ground and pound by him here. He told us on Thursday he needed to be more effective in these situations. Certainly effective tonight.
Many people have gone away from this style of fighting. This man has embraced it, and you are seeing why he's one of the best that we've seen do it in a long time.
Oh, no!
What a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish this fight.
Oh! Oh! Huge right hand! Well, these are some excellent ground and pound strikes here, DC. There's an efficiency with which he operates in these situations.
He knows exactly when to throw, exactly when to hold. And it's allowing him to really control the grappling aspect of the fight.
There's a song there, right? Know when to hold him, know when to hold him.
Yep,
There you go.
absolutely. I mean, he's cutting them down to size with these beautiful leg kicks.
Oh, lands a stiff punch there. Nice connection.
Oh, nice land. He needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent hurt very bad. Oh, look at him jumping in to try to get the finish. Oh,
Oh, reversal here, DC.
what a way to switch the position. Fantastic movement by the bottom fighter.
Oh, looks like he's transitioned to an armbar.
You cannot stay in the guard of these great jiu-jitsu guys. Attacking armbar.
He might get a finish here. Strong bottom work here, staying busy, and this might just be a matter of time. Oh, that's going to do it in a quick tap from there as he gets it done by
The moment
submission.
he got the arm straight, he got the pressure with his hips to force his opponent to tap, and he wins the fight.
Provides a wild round and a wild sequence there on the ground, DC. Talk us through the highlight.
He's such a phenomenal grappler. I don't understand how people don't know that this guy wants to submit you. He is the best grappler, best submission specialist we've seen in a long time.
So there he is, your winner by submission. That could hold up as one of the better subs of the year. Near perfect execution tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 56 seconds in the very first round. Declaring the winner by tap out, Brock Lesnar!
Well, the celebration is on in his corner, and hard to blame these guys, sort of waiting to exhale, get a huge win tonight, and not just the win, but they get it by submission.
They knew what they had in front of them. They knew how tough a competitor his opponent was, but they also knew that if they could get this fight to the ground, they could find a submission. They found a submission. He got his hand raised in the way that he loves the most.